Right remake, mostly because of what the lead actress has been saying to the press. Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney's. We've heard her bag the classic story before, but there's more.
It's the best I've ever seen it. Can't wait to see you in the Palladium. My favourite theatre anywhere, actually. Oh, you're a fantastic cast. It's going to be a sensation, I know it. Thank you, everybody.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So she said she was scared of the original cartoon, watched it once and never picked it up again. She should have watched it a few times and maybe became more familiar with the story. And before the script went through such a dramatic change that it sounds like she had a part in, Disney, an accomplice with that. Obviously, it was their production. You should have, watched it a little closely and maybe stayed a little closer to the original blockbuster, wonderful story written by whoever it was, but produced by...
Once seen as Disney's next shining star, Rachel Zegler's Hollywood trajectory has taken a stunning nosedive. What began as a high-profile casting in Disney's Snow White remake has now spiraled into a full-blown public relations nightmare. One so intense, it allegedly led to the film's silent cancellation. Zegler, who was praised for her breakout performance in West Side Story, quickly became a lightning rod for backlash after a string of controversial interviews and a dramatic meltdown during her stage role in Evita. Disney, already facing brand fatigue, political battles, and plummeting stock values, has decided to pull the plug without saying a word. No trailer, no press release, not even a tweet. What exactly happened? How did one rising actress go from being Spielberg's it girl to a symbol of industry chaos? Let's break it down in 10 parts and reveal why Hollywood may have finally said, enough.
After the Snow White thing, I'm gonna be honest, I will be shocked if she gets cast in almost anything. 2.3 million dislikes. Imagine having that much of a dedicated hater base. That's insane.
She couldn't keep her mouth shut.
Without fanfare or public notice, Disney made an unprecedented move. They shelved the highly anticipated Snow White remake. What was once set to be a major Disney Plus event film simply vanished from marketing schedules. No posters, no trailers, no premiere announcements. While casual observers assumed a delay, insiders paint a different picture. This wasn't a postponement, it was a cancellation. The absence of any official update, not even a social media teaser, triggered alarm bells across Hollywood. Behind the scenes, the release was reportedly pulled from Disney's internal calendar with the note, "Hold indefinitely pending talent resolution." Translation: Rachel Zegler's continued controversies made the film too risky to release. For a company like Disney, known for its tight brand control and aggressive promotion, to go radio silent speaks volumes. And for fans, the missing movie release confirmed the rumors. Disney pulled the plug quietly, hoping to avoid a public spectacle.
What is it like for you now, having all of this? I think it's a lot of pressure, right?
It's definitely a lot of pressure, but I surround myself with very good people who keep me grounded and try to just stay as true to myself as I possibly can.
Rachel Zegler's downfall didn't come from one incident, it came from many. Her press interviews became instant viral moments for all the wrong reasons. Whether she was mocking the original Snow White as creepy and weird, dismissing the prince as a stalker, or claiming the story had to be rewritten for modern values, fans felt insulted. Her tone came off as sarcastic, her comments as condescending. Audiences who grew up loving Disney classics saw her as disrespectful, and soon, even neutral fans turned cold. Within Disney, Zegler was allegedly labeled a walking PR disaster. Every red carpet clip, every soundbite became a social media grenade. She wasn't promoting the film, she was detonating its goodwill. And in today's climate, where one bad clip can define a project, her presence became too volatile. What should have been charming press turned into damaging headlines, and Disney's nightmare had a face, hers.
And it's lonely. It's very lonely. I just know that if that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay. Maybe that's a weird takeaway. Regardless, this is not supposed to be anything other than insightful entertainment. It's what I do best. Just know that I am the most grateful person alive. But I'm also keeping it real.
If Snow White was the boiling pot, Evita was the overflow. Rachel Zegler's London stage debut was supposed to help shift the narrative, show her talent live, and restore faith in her professionalism. Instead, it became her most public unraveling yet. Reports emerged of backstage chaos, crew walkouts, and Zegler allegedly screaming at lighting staff. Leaked emails described the atmosphere as hostile, with one even calling her unsustainable for the production. Anonymous cast members claimed she refused to rehearse scenes she didn't like and overruled creative decisions. The internet pounced. With no Disney studio to hide behind, Zegler's behavior was fully exposed. For Disney execs watching from afar, it was the final confirmation. Rachel wasn't just a social media problem, she was a leadership risk. The Evita fallout didn't just echo previous issues, it amplified them. And after that, Snow White's fate was sealed.
White remake, mostly because of what the lead actress has been saying to the press. Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney's. We've heard her bag the classic story before, but there's more.
Disney thrives on perception. Its image, family-friendly, magical, stable, is more important than any single movie. When that image gets threatened, they act fast. And by mid-2024, Snow White had transformed from a beloved fairy tale remake into a corporate liability. The backlash wasn't about the film's plot or visuals. It was about Zegler's face on the poster. Every headline, every clip, every TikTok trend redirected attention away from the film and onto her controversies. Executives reportedly feared the public would boycott the release, or worse, use it as a referendum on Disney's decision to cast and defend her. In an already unstable PR climate, Disney couldn't afford another bomb. They weren't just protecting one movie, they were shielding an entire brand from fallout. Snow White, in this context, wasn't a film anymore. It was a risk profile, and the numbers weren't adding up.
Okay, it's great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored. Am I a psychopath? No, I've been getting a lot of questions about like, how do I feel? I feel amazing. We start kind of soon, and I'm just like...
Behind the scenes, panic set in fast. Disney held emergency meetings to reassess their marketing strategy for Snow White. It wasn't a question of quality or completion. The film was ready. The problem was the storm surrounding its lead. Executives debated every angle. Do they delay it, re-edit it, reshoot? Ultimately, they chose a less dramatic but more telling path: silence. Internally, marketing teams were instructed to halt promotion. Staff were redirected to focus on other projects. Online mentions of Snow White dwindled. It was as if the movie never existed. And that's exactly how Disney wanted it. Quietly, they removed the film from internal schedules and set the status to pending talent resolution. The message was clear. Until Rachel Zegler stops trending for the wrong reasons, Snow White will stay buried. No apologies, no statements, just silence. The corporate equivalent of locking the castle gates.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
It didn't take long for Disney fans to notice the silence. The original release date passed, and nothing happened. No cast interviews, no streaming debut, no countdown posts. Reddit threads, Twitter spaces, and TikTok videos all echoed the same question. Where's Snow White? One viral tweet summed it up. Disney watched the Evita meltdown and said, never mind. Even without official word, the writing was on the wall. The film had been shelved. For some, it was a moment of relief. They felt Disney had finally made the right call. Others accused the studio of cowardice, caving to online outrage and setting a dangerous precedent. But most just saw confirmation of what had been obvious for months. Rachel Zegler's behavior had derailed a billion-dollar brand's flagship project. And in the age of transparency, a silent cancellation speaks louder than words.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just and who can become a fantastic leader. And the reality is,
the entertainment industry thrives on momentum, and Rachel Zegler just lost hers. According to insiders, her name is quietly being removed from casting shortlists. one major streaming platform allegedly pulled her from a lead role days after her Evita clips went viral. Brand deals have dried up. No more magazine features, no fragrance campaigns, no fashion house invites. Even projects she was previously attached to are now on hold indefinitely. For someone who once had Hollywood at her feet, it's a stunning reversal. But it isn't about one film, it's about risk. Studios aren't just questioning her public image, they're questioning her reliability. In a business that demands likability, Zegler has become polarizing. And without a support system of powerful allies or sympathetic press, she's left to face the consequences alone. Hollywood may forgive, but first, it forgets.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have when I say that this has been the biggest adjustment of my life. Like understanding the way my life operates now, being who I am, and the things that I've been so fortunate to make. It comes with so much ground that I never thought I would be able to cover, and that people think I'm doing poorly, and other people think I'm doing gracefully, and I don't think I'm doing it at all.
Zegler's image has been spiraling for over a year. What began as minor backlash over Snow White comments turned into a snowball of bad press. Fans who once rooted for her began expressing disappointment. Even supporters started saying, "I wanted to like her, but she made it impossible." She was accused of being arrogant, ungrateful, and out of touch. Each public appearance seemed to confirm the worst fears about her attitude. And the biggest issue? She never addressed it. No apologies, no clarifications, just cryptic posts and lawsuits. While other stars rehabbed their image through humility and reflection, Zegler doubled down. And now, even the most forgiving viewers are turning away. In an era where reputation is everything, she didn't just lose a role, she lost public trust.
Be normal. Normal things are happening.
Good day.
How are you, my dear?
Hello, Diego.
What a pleasure. Nice to see you again.
Hi, nice to meet you. James. Great to see you.
Right, let me introduce you to everybody. Michael Harrison, other producer. Hello. And of course, Andrew.
Have you met Jimmy Lloyd?
No, what does he do?
Didn't ask him.
What do you do?
I just do my best.
That's the best I've ever seen it. Can't wait to see you in the Palladium. My favourite theatre anywhere, actually. Oh, you're a fantastic cast. It's going to be a sensation, I know it. Thank you, everybody.
Amazing.
Thank you.
The Snow White situation isn't happening in a vacuum. It's unfolding during one of Disney's most tumultuous eras. Political backlash, subscriber declines, box office flops, and fan frustration have all rocked the studio's foundation. Executives hoped Snow White would be a nostalgic win, simple, safe, successful. Instead, it turned radioactive. And in the middle of it all stood Rachel Zegler, unintentionally embodying everything fans felt Disney had lost: authenticity, humility, and storytelling magic. The company, once bulletproof, now looked vulnerable. Executives were left asking the unthinkable: are we doing more harm than good by releasing this? And the answer, to many, was yes. The safest move wasn't to release the movie. It was to bury it.
So she said she was scared of the original cartoon, watched it once, and never picked it up again. She should have watched it a few times and maybe became more familiar with the story. And before the script went through such a dramatic change that it sounds like she had a part in, Disney, and accomplished with that. Obviously, it was their production. You should have, watched it a little closely and maybe stayed a little closer to the original blockbuster, wonderful story written by whoever it was, but produced by Disney.
Hollywood is a town of second chances, but they require introspection, time, and grace. So far, Rachel Zegler has offered none. With every lawsuit filed, every cryptic message posted, and every opportunity squandered, she pushes herself further from redemption. Studios aren't rushing to save her. No A-list cosigns, no legacy directors jumping to cast her, just growing silence. And in Hollywood, silence is a death sentence. Her future depends on whether she can own the narrative, express humility, and rebuild trust. Until then, she remains a cautionary tale, a reminder of what happens when ego, controversy, and PR disasters collide. The castle didn't just crumble, she set it on fire. Rachel Zegler's story isn't just about one actress or one film. It's about the power of perception, the fragility of fame, and how quickly the spotlight can turn into a searchlight. From Spielberg's Golden Girl to Hollywood's PR headache, her fall has been fast and public. Disney, once her biggest backer, has gone quiet, and the industry she once had at her feet now treats her name like a warning label. Can she come back? Possibly. Hollywood loves a comeback, but it starts with accountability, and so far, that's been missing. One thing's for sure, Snow White isn't riding to the rescue. Not this time. And for Zegler, the happily ever after is on hold.